Alright, in episode 10, we're going to be learning about super trees. Let's see what's in the box. Oh man, it looks like just a bunch of weeds. But you'll be surprised how they come out. Each one of these bunches can potentially be an absolutely perfect tree. Pretty cool looking things, aren't they? Of course, as soon as I got this box of super trees, I went out in my yard looking around to see if I could find something similar, but I couldn't. You're gonna need a bunch of things to make these super trees. I like to use hairspray for an adhesive. I buy the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheap because it's not gonna really be seen. It's just to hold stuff on. And you'll want a number of different colored, different sized, what would you call it, scenic detail stuff, like grass and stuff like that. It all depends on what color you want to make your trees. Do you have a spring tree, a midsummer tree, or a fall tree? So I like to have a mix of different colors, and I also put different layers on each tree so you have that depth of color. You don't want the tree to all be the same color. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to make the tree look like what you want. You want to trim it down to the shape and size that's going to fit what you want. Now since they give you a whole bunch of different kinds of these, I gotta call them weeds, you gotta figure out which ones are the straightest, which ones are going to fit where you want them, and certainly some of them are going to be better than others. Alright, let's get on to making a tree. Well, first thing you want to do is you want to put some of the hairspray on, and I like to make sure it gets all over, turn it upside down, get the top, get the bottom, and then, well, you see I'm wearing gloves because you're going to get hairspray all over. Then you start to put a little bit of this color scenic material on there. Notice that I'm catching it in the container because of course I'm going to use it again and again and again. So you just kind of sprinkle it on, making sure that, well, you're getting all those spots. You don't want to leave dead, bare spots. Of course, then again, maybe you do want a dead, bare spot. Not all trees are consistent. They're not consistent in color. A lot of times the leaf is one color on the top and another color on the bottom. And a lot of times you will have dead spots. And then you take and you tap it off. You get all that excess off there. You want to be gentle though, because these super trees are exceedingly brittle. And what do you think? That's coming along pretty nice. That's almost starting to look like a tree. Okay, moving right along. This is a tree that I put the first coating on already. Well, we want more color. We want to get a more inconsistent color to the tree, so you put some more of the hairspray on. And now I'm starting to add a little bit of extra material. This time it's a different color. And a lot of times what I like to do, I like to have the darker color on the, what you might call, top side of the leaves. And I like to put the lighter color on what you would call the bottom part of the leaves. And once again, you're putting it on nice and heavy, and then you tap it off again, just like we did on the first layer. To finish it off, well, we don't want all this stuff falling off, so you put one last coat of hairspray on it just to keep everything together. What do you think? How's that looking? Now keep in mind, every time you put an extra layer on it, the tree gets fatter and fatter. A lot of trees are supposed to look nice and fat, whereas some other trees are going to be rather skinny. So here you have an assortment of trees that I've made. And generally speaking, no two trees of mine ever look exactly the same. I like to make sure that, well, in a real forest you have all these different colors, and in your forest should also be the same thing. And some of these trees just come out amazingly lifelike. Pretty cool, huh? Now you may need to trim them just a little bit after you get everything together. I like to keep a long stem until it's time to plant them. I like to think about that. I think about planting my trees. And you might end up needing to trim a little bit here, trim a little bit there. But what do you think? Boy, that one came out really nice. As you start playing with these super trees, you'll start to get your favorites. Now, one thing I have learned about making super trees if you cut the top off, because the tops are almost invariably better, the rest of the tree isn't so good. So here we're going to be putting together a little demonstration to show you what it's going to look like. I got a piece of old foam and put a road on it, put a piece of track on it, just to show you how the trees will look when they're done. Okay, well, planting the trees is easy. You need some glue. I like my old friend Elmer's Glue All, just plain old white glue. And you need something to poke holes with. That's about it. So what you do is you poke a hole, kind of figure out where the tree should fit. Then you take one of your super trees. I like using a pair of these clampers because that way I don't damage the tree with my big fat old man fingers. And you simply plant it. That's it. Now technically you could probably get away with not having glue, but the fact is I only used my super trees one time. So here's a little look at the very trees that we've been putting together for this show. They sure came out nice. These super trees are, in fact, what I like to consider super. They are the best trees I've ever made. I know. I've tried some of those plastic ones, and I've tried some of the metal ones. I've tried making my own trees. The fact is, they just don't come out as well. Well, let me give you a little tour of some of my layout to show you what at least my super trees look like. And I have made literally thousands of these super trees. You'll also notice that the colors change as we move around on the layout. So enjoy. I strongly suggest you guys try these super trees. They are the best. Have fun with your model railroad. Make some trees. Make a world all your own. Well, thanks for joining me here at Murphy's Welcome to My World. Come back again sometime. See me again. See you. Bye, guys. Have fun.